Yep.
Cool. Hello and welcome to WCBN FM Sports Radio's coverage of the University of Michigan Wolverines women's soccer team versus the University of Nebraska Cornhuskers women's soccer team. Today is September 25th, 2022. My name is David Kraemer, and I'm joined by Ian Moore, a freshman. His first soccer game, his first radio broadcast of his WCBN career. A very exciting one at that. I'm a senior. This is among my last games that I'm going to be covering here at the University of Michigan. I'm sad. I'm both happy to be here today presenting this broadcast, but sad as well about the end of what has been a really exciting era, poetic almost. In fact, that it is also senior night tonight.
Yes.
As the Michigan Wolverines women's soccer team said goodbye to some of their seniors on a farewell tour. Perfect timing considering it's also Parents' Weekend. Ian, enough about me. What are you excited? What are you looking forward to during this game?
Well, like you said, this is my first broadcast, so I'm very excited for that. More on the game, I think this is going to be a very interesting game. Obviously, the Wolverines have a lot to play for here. They haven't had the conference start that perhaps they had wished to, with a loss to Maryland and a draw against Ohio State the other night. Obviously, this was the Big Ten champion last year. They want to be able to return to that dominance. So that was not exactly the start they wanted to. Meanwhile, Nebraska also clearly a lot to play for. They have a chance to come in, upset this very good Michigan team, and they're riding high. They have a win against Minnesota and a respectable loss in Evanston against a 9th-ranked Northwestern. So I think it'll be interesting to see how those dynamics play out.
Yeah, that's my hometown team. Those
right.
Wildcats out in Evanston. I know that Northwestern certainly is a good program, but that's not to say that this isn't going to be an exciting game, as you said. You know, one thing that I'm looking forward to is seeing how those seniors play this afternoon, especially considering a lot of their parents are in town. You know, I think there's something to be said, you know, going even back to the days of high school sports about wanting to put out a good game in front of your parents and family.
Right.
An added pressure as well, considering how the past couple of games have gone for the Wolverines. You know, this is also a Big Ten matchup as well.
Yes.
And, you know, the Big Ten, it doesn't matter what sport you're playing. This is among the greatest conferences in the United States. And I'd say for soccer, it's no different. And so, you know, I'm looking forward to getting this game started. Now we see the Wolverines are going to be starting with the ball. For those listening at home this afternoon, if you imagine looking at your radio, the Wolverines are on the right side. Their goalie's on the right side of your radio, and Nebraska's on the left. So the Wolverines now have the ball back at their defensive end, passing it from the far side to the near side of the ball, controlled by Tamia Tabort, who then passes it up to Avery Katila. Katila now passing up to the far side, and a nice move, but the ball goes out of bounds, and the Wolverines are going to now pick it up for a throw-in. That is Sarah Bridenstine. Bridenstine kicks it in, passes it back to the midfield, and it's controlled still there, picked up by Farkas. Farkas now on the near side, makes a nice cutting move, passes about just over the midline, but goes back, passes it to number 19, Katila. Katila then to 17 on the far side, Layson, ball goes out of bounds. Now Wolverines are going to control it again, looking to go further up the field. Throw in nicely into the midfield, controlled Katila to Leeson again, or to Farkas, excuse me. Farkas now. League has it. League to Lawrence, the forward. Lawrence back all the way to Tolbert. Tolbert to the midfield, controlling it. A nice pass, but it's turned over. Nebraska picks it up, and it's a good defensive grab there as Nebraska now looking to get some offense generated. A nice kick in by number 10, the midfielder, Belzile. But it's picked up by Sparkowski, the netminder for the Wolverines, who dishes it out to to Layson, who is pretty far back in. He's normally a forward. Layson kicks it out, and it's all the way back practically at the midline, and it's a Nebraska ball. A throw-in. Wolverines, defensive 3-on-1. Really, Wolverines end up coming away with the ball, but it's immediately a turnover. It's a fast-paced game for a soccer game. We were talking, Ian and I, before the game about Premier League soccer, and Ian, I know you're a Wolverhampton Wolves fan.
Yes.
Haven't had the best season out there, have they?
No, but I'm used to this. I'm used to this fast-paced style of play.
Yeah. No, certainly. Well, Nebraska definitely starting out the gate pretty strong.
Yes.
Jordan Zaid passing it to Rob. Rob now controlled by Nebraska still here on this. They're still in the offensive zone, but they turn over the ball. It's picked up by Michigan. Michigan now, Farkas dishing it back to Tolbert. And these defenders have had most of the ball when it was in Michigan's possession to League. League now, pretty big collision with Reagan Robb for Nebraska, who tries to make a neat cut-in move. And she's been playing pretty well so far earlier in this game.
Yeah, you see, Michigan has really had trouble with the transition. It's been hard for them to keep the ball. We're seeing this now as Nebraska steals it again.
No, absolutely. That's a very good point.
Yeah, Nebraska's really been pressing on the ball here.
Yeah. Peterson now for Nebraska. Peterson passing it back up. And that's a really nice move, but League is able to come in and maybe get some transition play that you were just talking about, but that ball goes out of bounds. Nebraska kicking it out. Now number 14, Danielle Wolf. Take that back. That's actually Lily Farkas to Danielle Wolf. She's in the near side of the box, and she gets in a collision with the Nebraska player, the defender Jordan Zaid, and this is going to end up being just a goal kick, but I was thinking it could have been a corner. Goal kick now. Haley Peterson, or Samantha Hawk, the netminder for Nebraska, dishing it up the near side of the field. Nebraska player crosses the midline, but she is hounded by number 6, the forward, Casey Lawrence. Lawrence on Rabe. And there's going to be a free kick now for Nebraska. Probably about 15 yards, you say, from the top of the box here on the near side of the field. Well, let's see now what happens. The free kick taken by forward Eleanor Dale. Michigan's going to build a wall, a diminutive wall of just 2 players. This is on the near side going in. I think that there may be a header opportunity to get some offense generated for Nebraska here.
Yeah, I'd agree. But
and the kick is actually brought down to the near side, and it's a really good kick by Jordan Zaid, the defender for Nebraska, who is playing really far deeply into the offensive zone, but Michigan was able to collect that, and that's a goal kick by Stephanie Sparkowski. Well, not even, yes, a goal kick, excuse me. Sparkowski passing it to Tolbert. Tolbert now makes a really nice move. The midfielder, Florence Belzile. But Nebraska, as you said, they have been playing really aggressively, and I'm very impressed with their push that they've kind of been acting on the Wolverines so far this afternoon. But a really nice pass. Unfortunately, is a turnover. The Wolverines. Oh, well,
there it goes.
Like they've collected that ball now, and Farkas now in the midfield. Farkas with a good move to just get around to evade the Nebraska defender. Again, Farkas pulling out the moves, but Nebraska is really stopping Michigan from generating any significant momentum. Rob with a really nice through ball pass, and that could have been a dangerous opportunity as that ball trickled all the way into the Wolverines box, but the goalie Sparkowski was able to pick it up and ended up being all right. The score, folks, is also 0-0 as we have 38 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this first half, and that is not including extra time. The Wolverines are playing the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Now the ball is right at the edge of the box. Nebraska looking to generate something. Florence Belzile, but the Wolverines' defense is pretty much the only thing that's stopping them so far. They've had some close chances, offensive chances so far this afternoon.
Yeah, you can definitely tell the Wolverines have spent a majority of the game in the defending third. They're able to get the ball, but they're not able to get numbers up to support the attack, it seems, even when they do get it past the center line as they turn it over again.
Yeah, well said. Certainly, I think. Oh, wow.
Oh.
And that is almost a
beautiful
goal.
save.
Oh, my
and
gosh. Nebraska converts on their first or second shooting opportunity. The score is 1-0. Michigan 0, Nebraska 1 here in Ann Arbor. Well, Ian, that was pretty sloppy.
Yes, honestly, I think that's just a function of like I mentioned, playing a majority in the attacking third. Eventually, the Huskers are going to be able to get an opportunity like that to put it in. They were outnumbered in the box. The Wolverines were outnumbered in the box, and while the goalie did make a beautiful save and a defender made a beautiful save as well, it was just the Nebraska player got the rebound and they put it right in.
Yeah, that was not the best. That was not the best opportunity, in my opinion, for the Wolverines to display, kind of what they're hoping to make up for in these past couple of games, right?
Yeah.
But it is still early.
Yes. Yeah, you're 8 minutes in, but especially given the results of the last two matches, you really have to put it all out there today if you're the Wolverines.
Well, the score is 1-0, folks. Nebraska leads the Wolverines here in Ann Arbor. If you're just tuning in, this is WCBN FM Sports Radio. I'm David Kraemer, and I'm joined by Ian Moore. Well, this is going to be a throw-in here. Wolverines collect the ball. Picked up just beyond the center line. Picked up by a nice through ball. Farkas. Wolverines are in the box now, looking to convert, but there's a slight collision. League now, keeping the Wolverines on the offensive push as they are looking to generate something. Come back.
Yes.
And get the equalizer.
Yeah, I think this strategy that the Wolverines are running, the quick transition, is very interesting because that was a beautiful through ball, and they definitely had an opportunity there.
Well, Wolverine player stumbles. Nebraska getting the push. Farkas for Michigan. Ian, it seems for every Michigan player in past the center line, there are 2 or 3 Huskers waiting there, and
right.
I can't say that. I cannot say the same, and that is a really sloppy play. Turnover by the defender Tamia Tobert, but Sparkowski, the goalie, again, she might be a little bit frustrated with that turnover. She's able to recollect the ball, and a Nebraska player really, really pushing it. If the Wolverines can just get the ball in the air, I think you can really kind of eliminate a lot of that defensive push that Nebraska is putting out in in the Wolverines' defensive end.
Right. I think the Wolverines aren't playing terrible defense. Obviously, it's a bit sloppy, but
no, it's not terrible. It's a bit sloppy, but they're
they're creating turnovers. The problem, of course, is, as we've mentioned this whole time, is getting it out of their defending third and getting. Mm-hmm. They really don't have the numbers past that.
No, they're a bit hemmed in. Yeah. That's for sure. Now the free kick here, as we have 34 minutes left.
Yeah, the Huskers are just getting much more spaced out. They're just playing better, quite frankly.
And that free kick is collected by the goalie Sparkowski, who kicks it as it crosses the center line. And that was a really nice header. Oh. This is physical soccer.
Yes.
This is really physical soccer.
And Michigan, obviously, this is a very physical team. They lead the Big Ten in fouls.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens now. Wolverines looking to get something going. League on the near side. Farkas back down to the defensive end. The defender now has it. Wolverines controlling the ball. Just at the center line. A good pass. But Nebraska is really hunting, and they're really looking to take advantage. And some really nice footwork now. The Nebraska rushing into the offensive zone. They're at the top of the box now. And a shot that goes just over. I don't know. Did the goalie get that? Did Sparkowski get that? I don't think so. I think that might just be that's going to be a goal kick.
I think that was definitely a lucky save for the Wolverines. They had 2 and 2 on the box. There wasn't exactly options, but for Nebraska, but they were definitely pressing.
Wow.
And I think eventually you're gonna see these defenders get even more tired.
Yeah. And especially so early on too in this match.
Yeah, the Wolverines have just been on the back foot the entire game.
Mm-hmm. Peterson for Nebraska against 2 Wolverines. Some nice tiki-taki. Nothing comes of it. League here. League with Lawrence, the forward, who is deep in the defensive end. Looking to get something going as that ball gets crossed all the way into the defensive end. And the Wolverines turn it over. Top of the box now, a shot. And that's collected by the Wolverines goalie, Sparkowski, who then subsequently turns it over. As a Wolverine defender, seems to be maybe a little bit of miscommunication. That goes out, and that is going to be a Nebraska ball.
Right.
Well,
I understand the instinct there to try and get the ball.
That'll be a Wolverines ball, excuse me.
Yeah. I understand the instinct there to try and quickly get the ball down the pitch, but obviously we still have 75 minutes to go. There's certainly time to get an equalizer. I think the Wolverines just kind of need to calm down a little bit, play their game. Obviously, this is a very, very good team. They just need to settle down a little bit, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well said. Well said. I think while Nebraska seems to have solved the Wolverines pretty quickly so far into this game, I think Michigan is still trying to figure out how exactly they can, take advantage of the weaknesses in Nebraska's team.
Right.
And for Michigan now, that Sparkowski collects it after a little bit of some movement.
Obviously, this Michigan team is a very, very high-paced, physical team, and I think the constant press is really just it's really just tiring them out because that's obviously much more difficult to do when you're constantly having to defend the ball.
You see Zaid, that defender for Nebraska, has just been all over the Wolverines. And some good physicality. Wolverines now looking to collect it. A nice through ball. And a really great scoring opportunity by the forward, Casey Lawrence, off of an exceptional pass. An exceptional pass by the forward, Danielle Wolf. That was a really great opportunity.
That was a beautiful save by Samantha Hawk, though.
Yeah, the goaltender for Nebraska, of course. An excellent save. Some really good physicality put on by the Wolverines. Now at the top of the box, Wolverines control it, but a really nice header that's executed by the Cornhuskers to clear their defensive end. But Michigan recollects it. Distributed by the defender, or the forward, Emily Layson, who's on defense today.
Yeah. Even though it didn't result in a goal, I think that was a very good attack for the Wolverines. They were able, like I said, to settle down, be patient, wait until they had numbers in the box, and then take advantage of that with a beautiful through pass.
And are we going to see a throw-in here? Yes, a throw-in here right practically at the corner on the left side. Nebraska's defensive zone. And that's a turnover. Nebraska picks that ball up, chipped into the air, and out. Wolverines now going to throw that in from the center line. Clock keeps ticking down. Just past the 30-minute mark left in this first half of this soccer game. And that's a nice throw-in. But Jordan Zaid, she has been everywhere for Nebraska.
Yeah, she really has.
She puts on the speed, too. And speaking of speed, and that's going to be a corner kick. Nebraska, their first corner. Looks like that's going to be taken by Eleanor Dale. For Nebraska, Dale and Zaid in the corner.
Anaya's in near post. Anaya's in near post.
Let's see.
She's a front zoner.
Let's see now. We have this corner taken, and no one makes contact with it, as now Nebraska controls the ball from the outside of the box, and it hits the crossbar. But Michigan's able to get that ball off of an incredible point-blank shot from a Nebraska forward.
Yeah, Michigan's really got to be thanking Stephanie Sparkowski for that one. That was a beautiful save.
And Zaid, again, just everywhere. She has been a dominant force this afternoon so far, early on in this game. The throw-in from League.
Anaya is the front zoner. Because there's only 2 zoners there.
Throw-in from Anaya League. Some really smart footwork there. You have the option to move the ball forward, but I think a lot of players, a lot of strategy forgets that you don't always have to go forward. You can go backwards as well, but
Right.
Another turnover, but it seems to have been some contact. Zaid coming into contact with Lawrence for the Wolverines, and it's going to be a Michigan ball here now. Let's see now. That is Tamia Tolbert. Tolbert to Avery Kalita. Kalita over to Blake. And that's recollected, held on to by Layson. Layson to Kalita. Kalita now to Blake. Blake to League. League, the defender who's brought it all the way up here on the near side. A pass in just to the top of the box. Oh, that was really nice footwork. That was a good move. That was a very good move. Bridenstine for Michigan. A cheeky little move between the legs to keep possession. But as quickly as possession ends, now we have the ball. The Wolverines have the ball at the top of the box, looking to get something going now after they had that chance about 10 minutes or so, or about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, they're looking much more comfortable on offense right now.
I'd say so too.
Keeping the ball, and even when they lose it, they're able to get pressure on the Huskers. I think that's obviously very important.
Hawk to her sister. Now that's brought up the near side by Reagan Raby. Kalita back to Layson. Layson to Hackinson. Hackinson now back to holding on to it just on the inside of the... Oh, and a great through ball in the air. And that's going to be a corner kick opportunity for the Wolverines.
Yes. This is very good. Since it seems these last 10 minutes we've spent a lot of time Michigan in the attacking third. They're definitely looking much better now. I think this is going to be a prime scoring opportunity for them.
I think so too. Let's see what happens here. The free kick taker, Hackinson. And it's brought all the way up to just to the top of the box from Layson. Layson kicking it in. Maybe thoughts about making a worldie, but
yes, definitely. She definitely put too much power on it. Obviously, if she were able to place it well, Michigan had numbers in the box. Obviously, you can't guarantee what would have happened, but you have to be kicking yourself for that one.
Yeah. I'm a fan of those outside the box shots.
Yes.
Those are always really fun to watch. The ball's brought up now by the Huskers, and it's gone out now. That's a throw-in for Nebraska. Nebraska throwing it in. Forward Raby looking to get it, but it is collected by the Wolverines, and it goes out. Now that's a throw by Kalita. Kalita looking. Kalita to Blake. Layson booting it just to the center line, but it's picked up by Nebraska and held on to as they look to get a ball into the box. Unable to do so. Now Michigan on the rush. There's no one there. A nice through ball. There was thoughts of maybe it could have been an offside, so that was a good patient move. Now the ball picked up by the Nebraska goalie, Samantha Hawk.
That was a very proactive move by Samantha Hawk.
Yeah,
she was
well
one-on-one
said.
in the box.
Well said. Layson with a good header to damper any opportunities that Nebraska could have had. Layson again. Layson to Tolbert. Tolbert to League. League now on the near side, just beyond the midline to Kalita. Kalita, Layson, Tolbert, and League forming that back four, who had some early game troubles, but it seems like they've been able to kind of weather some more of this Nebraska offense. And League now holding on to that ball. League with Raby nearby, but Blake is able to come and collect that ball from League on a good pass. And that's a really great passing opportunity, but Hawk, again, being very proactive. But now Michigan has a chance to get something going at the far side top of the box. That's crossed in, and now Blake has a wide open angle, and it may have hit the outside of her shoe.
Yeah, it looked like she was maybe trying to give a through pass for the other attacker in the box, but that was definitely a missed opportunity.
Great shot, or great chance by Hannah Blake.
Yeah, I think Michigan, you're seeing they're creating much more of these chances, and eventually one's going to fall.
Yep.
The momentum really seems to have shifted offensively to Michigan right now. They're just waiting for that equalizer.
And it will come.
Yes.
I think we're certain it'll come, but the defender, Jordan Zaid, will have something to say about that. She has, in my opinion, been Nebraska's best player this afternoon. And a really great defensive play by the forward, Sarah Lawrence, coming back, kicking that ball out, stopping any offensive momentum for Nebraska. Now
Jordan Zaid has just really been all over the field, attacking the ball. It's really, like I said earlier, it's put Michigan on the back foot in the first quarter of this game.
And that is a Michigan ball held on to. Some fighting in the corner. It could be a corner kick. Nope. That's a goal kick. Sparkowski now for the Wolverines. Had that tough shot after some defensive difficulties earlier in the game, in addition to that crossbar just a couple minutes ago. That's a shot now by Nebraska, just wide of the net. Sparkowski not too concerned about it for a goal kick. And again, for those just tuning in, this is WCBN FM Sports Radio. I'm David Kraemer, covering the Michigan Wolverines soccer game against the University of Nebraska Cornhuskers. And now a really great opportunity as the defender Zaid goes down. Again, for those just tuning in, the score is 1-0 Nebraska leading Michigan here at home in Ann Arbor. There's 19 minutes and some change left in this first half of this women's soccer game. Michigan definitely changed their tune from the first 20 or first 15 or so minutes.
Yeah, they've been able to get much more pressure on Nebraska when they had the ball, and they've been much better at moving it up the field.
Layson No, I think Layson's done a good job this afternoon. I think she's been really effective with a lot of her defensive clearances. She did have that big boot that went just a little bit wide a couple of minutes ago. But now, we see Blake crossing the midline. Blake, who's been pretty good as well for Michigan this afternoon. Blake passing it to Hackinson. Hackinson, who had that nice corner kick about 10 minutes ago. And that is a ball to the face. And a ball to the face turning into a corner kick. Michigan's second corner kick opportunity of this game coming in from the far side. Or, in fact, that's going to be a free kick on the far side.
Yes. Yeah, so about roughly even with the beginning of the box.
It's like Lawrence could be taking that. Yes, Casey Lawrence. Far side, as Ian said, roughly even with the box. And that is a ball in the air. League with a good opportunity off of a aerial pass from Danielle Wolf, the forward. League now. League ran from the box all the way to beyond the midline.
Yeah, you're seeing with these Michigan defenders are being very mobile. They're coming up, obviously, to assist in the attack, and again, they're dropping back, obviously, to defend. But I think that's really interesting. Michigan seems to be playing, like we said, a very high-pass transition-based game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think certainly that's going to help with that.
And Jordan Zaid coming out to knock that ball out. And this is a Wolverines throw-in. Wolverines throwing in their offensive end, League. And that is collected. And a turnover. Looks like we have one of our first substitutions of the match. Callie Burrell coming in. The freshman. Sammy Woods entering alongside Callie Burrell. And it's about 16 or so minutes. Jenna Lang as well entering, replacing Blake, number 10, the senior. Nebraska now here at the near side, top of the box. Raby with a shot that is headed away bravely by Layson.
Yeah, she definitely took a hit there.
Oof. You don't like to get a ball in the face at all. But
I think
that's
if you're
what
Michigan
you sign
right
up
now,
for.
you really don't like being scored on.
Yeah. Well said. And that ball is booted just over the top of the net. Sparkowski holding on to it. Booted out. Jenna Lang now had that ball. Danielle Wolf patrolling the offensive end. Now the freshman, Callie Burrell, she puts on some nice moves, and she's a fresh set of legs as well. The freshman to the senior.
Yeah, offsides flag will go up on that. She was just a bit past the last defender.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And the goalie, Hawk, is going to come out to administer this ball. She's been playing a sweeper-keeper role, I think would be fair to say.
Yeah, she's definitely
a bit Neuer-esque.
Yes. Yeah, she's definitely been up very high. I think that makes sense for Nebraska. Obviously, it frees you up to have a defender taking roles like that, so you can 10 in the attacking portion instead of.
It definitely makes sense, and that's a scoring opportunity off a really nice shot that Sparkowski was able to knock away. It's turning into a pretty active game.
Yes,
I'd say, Ian.
Yes, I think it's one interesting thing is Nebraska's been pressing a lot less. Maybe perhaps their strategy was to press until they got that first goal, but interestingly, they might have gotten tired from that initial pressing in the first 20 minutes. They were very active.
And that is booted and blocked by the defender, the sophomore Tamia Tolbert. Great play. And we're going to see what looks to be another corner kick taken by number 21, Lauren Anglem for Nebraska, the freshman from La Vista, Nebraska. That is ball in. Players go up. There are some bodies falling over. And that is a Michigan possession off of what I would say didn't look like one.
No. I think
what could have been a penalty kick.
Wolverines definitely lucked out on that one, getting the benefit from the referee. That is a huge call.
That is a huge call. That's ball in, distributed by the netminder, Sparkowski, and now it's turned over to Nebraska. Let's see where this ball goes. Past the midline. I mean, if you could see, if you were watching this game live, to see Sammy Hawk, the junior goaltender, who is nearly at the midline. And that's a nice ball in. I love seeing those free kicks that take advantage of getting that ball, almost all the way across the field and using them in an offensive strategy, not just to be kind of a normal pass, a normal passing play.
Right.
Sparkowski now with a lot of pressure.
It's interesting. You see Hawk, even when Michigan's got the ball around the midline, she's well outside of the box.
Yeah. They could just chip that ball up really far.
Yes. An old Carly Lloyd sort of goal.
Yeah. A little goalie wars, one might say.
Yes.
Carly Lloyd, good example. Wayne Rooney, too, in one of his last... Or was that Gylfi Sigurdsson who had one of those beyond the midline worldies?
Yes.
And a really nice through ball in. And
that is
going to be, I would argue that was inside the box. As a Michigan and a Nebraska defender go down with each other in the Nebraska box, and the ref is going to draw a free kick line just at the top of the box. And what, in my opinion,
perhaps the Wolverines were due a call like that after the call on the other side of the field a couple minutes ago, but fair
enough. Wow,
that was really that is an interesting call.
Wow,
what I'm gonna say.
This free kick by the Wolverines now. They've got 6 or 7 players in the box now. They've got 6 players in the box, 2 just on the outside, one of them kicking. Even Sparkowski doing her best Hawk impression.
Yes.
Staying outside of the box. And that kick is in, and it goes just over.
Right over the net.
Over the net. That was a nice kick by the freshman Jenna Lang. We're going to see some substitutions come in now as Kalita heads off for Michigan, replaced by the freshman defenseman Vicky Jones. I've been really impressed with Anaya Lang's defense.
Yes.
this afternoon, the freshman. She's played very well.
Yeah, I think after that initial 10 minutes, the whole defense has really gotten it together.
And that is a push.
Yeah, that is pretty clearly a foul.
Wolverine comes from behind, pushes over Nebraska. Haven't seen any cards yet. This is a physical game, but the refs haven't deemed anything too physical. Right?
Right.
Nebraska now with the ball, just about 9 or so minutes left in this first half, and that's not counting extra time. A really nice back and forth move. Nebraska shooting or looking to make a pass. You know, one thing that I noticed from Michigan's, Sparkowski's play is that she is very quick to distribute the ball.
Yes. Yeah, they definitely seem to be playing this up-tempo game, which obviously can put the Huskers on the back foot, but it also results in them bringing the ball into the attack when they do not have the numbers to support it. So it's an interesting trade-off there.
Yeah, especially considering Jordan Zaid's just...
Yes.
I'm not even sure how to describe it. And N'Golo Kante on the defense. Everywhere all at once. She's been excellent this afternoon.
Yeah. Borrow from another sport, it's more of a Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah. Not in my house.
Yeah, exactly.
Some nice passing play and some persistence by the Wolverines to bring it all the way just outside the box. Really good footwork, too, there. Wolverines looking to cross that ball in, but the Huskers there.
Oh.
That could have been a good opportunity, but now the Huskers on the transition. They've got numbers. 4 heading in. The freshman league, though, for Michigan, holding on to that ball. What a really calm and collected play to pass it to her partner, Tamia Tolbert. Tolbert got it over to Layson. And now that ball is being held on to.
Again, Jordan Zaid.
Yeah, Jordan Zaid again. Really clever way to move the ball. The freshman Jenna Lang. And that ball is kicked out. Just about 6.5 minutes to go, not counting extra time here. This Michigan soccer game against the University of Nebraska. The score is 1-0. The Cornhuskers leading the Wolverines at this women's soccer game here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I'm David Kraemer. You're listening to WCBN FM. We see the goalie Hawk for Nebraska distributing that. Again, their goalie kicks are a lot more organized. Well, a lot slower.
Yes.
Organized, not necessarily the right way to describe that. And a really nice passing play as now it's held on to. And that will be a corner. Nebraska with the corner against Michigan. With 5.5 minutes left, we see Nebraska's goalie almost at the midline.
Yeah.
Maybe
Nebraska
for an Allison header.
Nebraska even in the lead is not letting up on the attack.
No, not at all. Jordan Zaid's going to be is going to be the recipient of this pass, it looks like, or not. As that corner comes in, league going from one side of the field to the other in just a matter of seconds, and a good block. And what could have been league again on the defense. Rob for the Huskers, holding on to it despite some pressure from Michigan. Zaid now, the defender, who has been distributing and contributing significant amount of offense this afternoon. A good header from Michigan to knock that ball out. Some patient defense, really good move. And that ball is just about out, but not enough. Nebraska looking to bring it into the top of the box, but there's 3 defenders on one Cornhusker. Zaid, though, is going to pick it up. Bends it in. Nebraska with a shooting opportunity, and that's a good block. Wolverines trying, but hemmed into their defensive end. Nebraska putting on the pressure. And now just about at the midline. Again, distributed. Not a real sense of direction as that ball gets knocked out. Nebraska, 3 minutes, 40 seconds, just about here before the half. We'll see how much time will be added on. Nebraska player falls over. Michigan now looking to just escape, get into the second half without letting up another goal.
Right.
That'll be a corner kick. Nebraska's 4th corner kick of this game, or 5th corner kick. They just updated the scoreboard now. These games ebb and flow, right, Ian?
Right.
This started out Nebraska. This half, Michigan came in, had some great scoring opportunities, but here as we close out the second half, it is looking like it's ending up Nebraska. And let's see what Sparkowski does. Not a ton of time left. She's going to hold on to the ball and be a bit more patient off of that corner. She's able to collect it.
Yeah, if you're the Wolverines, you're probably looking for 2.5 minutes plus 1 or 2. So I think they do have a little bit of time to take it a little slower, but
my guess is 1.
Yeah.
1 minute of extra time.
I'd agree with that. There really hasn't been any significant stoppages.
Well, just really great footwork here. The Wolverines now looking to cross it, and that's not offsides. Past the 2-minute mark now. That's a throw-in. Wolverines practically just even with the box on the far side of the field. Held on to. Shot from the outside, and that is just wide. Wow.
Just very close to getting her foot in there. It was
Danielle Wolf, the senior, is going to want that one back.
Yes. Samantha Hawk played it very well, but really just got lucky there.
Yeah. Wow, what a really great scoring opportunity for the Wolverines. Danielle Wolf, again, being a part of that offense.
That was a beautiful through pass, too.
Yeah, that was exceptional. That was coming off of the feet of Lily Farkas, the senior. And that ball gets up in the air and into the Nebraska box, but caught by the netminder, Sammy Hawk. Picked up. Nebraska with the ball. 45 seconds left in this first half. Ball is brought into the air, but League, what patience.
Yeah.
What poise on the defensive end. She's been exceptional this afternoon.
Yeah, she really has.
That's a free kick going towards Nebraska Wolverines. A little collision between Rob and the sophomore defender for Michigan, Tamia Tolbert. Held on to by Vicki Jones, a freshman, distributing it to Layson, who has been in the game this whole first half. Just about 5 seconds left, as I imagine now there will be some added time at the end of the second half.
And there will not, it appears.
Yeah, my prediction now.
Yeah.
Well, as we're going to go to a break for the next 15 minutes, Ian, are there any thoughts that you have about this first half that you'd like to share?
I think since that initial 10 minutes, it has been relatively even matched. I think the Wolverines, like we've been saying, they've had some opportunities. They've had some things that they've let slip through their fingers, but I think we're in for a really good second half. I think the Wolverines
so too.
are looking a lot better, and they're closing in on that equalizer.
I think so too. Well, as we head into the next 15 minutes, there will be a halftime pause, and afterwards we will come back and join you all for the second half of this matchup between the University of Michigan women's soccer team and the University of Nebraska women's soccer team here in Ann Arbor. The score is 1-0. The visitors, Nebraska, lead the Wolverines in all departments, not just goals. With corner kicks, they have 5, and with shots, they have 8. Wolverines have 4 shots and 1 corner kick, all coming in that first half. I'm David Kraemer. This is WCBN Sports. I'm joined here by Ian Moore, and we will see you in 15 minutes.
Welcome back to WCBN Sports. This is Ian Moore here with my partner David. With my partner David. So right now this is the Nebraska and Michigan women's soccer game. We are just finishing up with halftime. Right now the Wolverines are down 1-0. David, what do you think is what do you think the Wolverines are looking to do coming into this half?
Well, I think assert dominance is one kind of simple way that they can improve upon their last half. There was no, the tempo of the game in the first half, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's fair to say it went Nebraska, Michigan, Nebraska.
Exactly.
And there was about 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so where it was Michigan. It started Nebraska, and they had a heavy presence, starting with that, that opening goal from Sarah Weber on 3 shots for that first half. And after that, Wolverines kind of figured out how to navigate this Nebraska team that has been putting a ton of pressure in the offensive zone, just pushing, fully attacking. And I think they've really... They made a bunch of mistakes, and Nebraska figured that out, that they were going to pressure and try and make some mistakes. So for Michigan, this second half, fewer mistakes. I mean, it sounds obvious, right? And dictate the tempo of the game, because Nebraska, when Michigan was dictating the speed, they were in control.
Right. Yeah, I really can't disagree with that. As we get started, Nebraska has the ball at around the midfield. They've kicked it off. Goes to the left side to Michigan regains the ball. It seems they're on our right. Nebraska. If you're looking at midfield, you have Michigan on the left, Nebraska on the right, as Michigan's driving up the field right now.
We've definitely seen some substitutions as well coming in for goal. We have Catherine McElroy, the senior, who I saw warming up during the half. And that's going to be an offsides.
Yeah.
Well, and Nebraska's kept their goalie in. She's played very, very well.
Yes. Yeah, she's been very, as we mentioned earlier, she's been very proactive with the ball, stopping Michigan possessions before they can really get started. And I think that's really been the MO for this Nebraska team so far, is getting in Michigan's face and stopping them before they can really get a possession started.
Yeah, 2 saves in that first half for the goalie for Nebraska. We have now what seems like an injured player, and that looks like the defender Jordan Zaid.
Oh, that is a big blow to the Huskers. If she
and
has
the
to
trainer's
come
out there now. Let's see what happens. As the clock has stopped.
Yes. Yeah, Jordan Zaid, we were saying earlier, she really has been the difference for Nebraska this entire game. She has been up and down the field. She has been getting in Michigan's face. She has made it really hard for them to strike offensively.
As we see both teams in the huddle.
Yeah.
And a substitution here for Nebraska, it looks like, or maybe that's just a water bottle request. You can't tell all the time.
Yeah, it just appears to be the water bottle.
Got to stay hydrated. You know,
Yes.
these colder games, you forget.
Yes. Yeah, your breath will go quicker.
You are, and you're getting dehydrated even if you're not sweating to death.
Looks like Jordan Zaid is at least sitting up now. It appears to be the trainer's working on her leg, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, she is.
She's not going to want to put any pressure on that right leg of hers, and the crowd clapping. And here, it's always really tough to see a player go down. It doesn't matter how much or how little they've been contributing to the game.
Right.
It's definitely a distraction for both teams, and we see now Zaid slowly making her way across the field. That's going to be a big blow to Nebraska. I wonder how Michigan, in a positive way, is going to respond to that injury, and how her replacement looks like number 17 on Nebraska.
Marissa Papula.
is going to play and see if she's going to, have the same vigor that Zaid had.
Yeah.
I think, it's just one of those unlucky, poor timing injuries that we see.
Yeah.
And it's good to see that the crowd, mostly Michigan fans here, lots of parents are still supportive. And you really hate one thing that I think is often discouraging to see in sports is fans jeering and booing at injured players. Especially
Yes.
when they're in the offensive or the opposing team. So it's refreshing to see some really positive and some respect towards all players on the field, because that's what sports are about at the end of the day.
Yes. I think that's a very Big Ten Midwest idea.
Yeah.
Respecting the other team.
Yeah.
So Nebraska takes it into the Michigan third. You have going. You take the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's picked up by the netminder now. So we have Nebraska holding on to this ball. They were dictating that tempo, in that first half, and they are really going to be wanting to come back strong, especially after the injury to their teammate Jordan Zaid. But that's a really good distribution by the Michigan netminder. But Zaid's replacement coming out, making some good play. Rabe, of course, who's been excellent in this opening game so far, and that is a wide open shooting position, and a really good stop for Margot Ridgway, the grad student defender for the Wolverines, and we're going to see the first corner of this half, second half.
You've seen by no means the first Nebraska corner. Nebraska, this will be their ninth. I'm sorry,
Their sixth.
Their sixth.
Yeah.
Of the game, and really that has kind of been. That has kind of been a symbol of. That has kind of been a symbol of how Nebraska has really controlled the tempo so far in this game.
And we see that ball go out of bounds, just beyond the net, and netminder McElroy getting that ball undone, going for that goalie kick now. And I saw her practicing before the half. She seems to be, to prefer distributing from distance. She's got really strong legs, really big kick, and that goes all the way out to the midline. Picked up, but collected, unfortunately, by the Nebraska team. But, we see League, who has been exceptional, the freshman defender for Michigan, who has just been one of the best players on the field so far, especially for Michigan. Now that's a turnover collected at the midline by Nebraska, but picked up by the Wolverines, who are really intent on getting a goal, getting that equalizer this afternoon. Definitely playing with a sense of urgency. Oh, but a turnover here now, picked up by Rabe, top of the box, a shot, and that is saved by McElroy. Not much of a threat with that shot, but a shot nonetheless. McElroy, always good as a goalie to get your head in the game by getting to touch the ball, get some feel, right? And
especially a shot like
goalie.
that. It's a routine shot. It's a good thing to start up with.
Yeah. No, I think in every sport with netminders, you want to get a touch on the ball early in the game, and it can actually be harder as a goalie in those dying minutes when there is some defensive pressure on you to stay poised.
Right.
You definitely see that in hockey. I think that's where soccer and hockey are so similar in that way. There's so much mental strength required as a goalie. And then it comes down to muscle memory. Really good pass, up in a chip pass, but it's collected by the goalie, Sammy Hawk.
Maybe a little too much power
for
on
Nebraska. Just too much puff.
It is going to be difficult to get a through pass into the box when Sammy Hawk is there.
Blake now to Bridenstine. Bridenstine holding on, crossing the midline. Almost nutmegs one of the Nebraska players.
Yeah.
Definitely some physicality from this Michigan team. A lot of substitutions. Ridgway. Blake with a really good header to stop that offensive momentum for Nebraska. And now we see Bridenstine. Bridenstine really leading this side of the field. Bridgeway now. Bridgeway back to her teammate, the goalie, McElroy. McElroy looking to distribute. Eyes far down the field, but it hits that Nebraska player. And it's collected by Hackinson. Hackinson down to Kalita. Kalita to Tolbert. Tolbert looking for a partner to Hackinson. Hackinson at the just beyond the midline. Passes it down to Bridgeway, her defending partner. Blake to the freshman Burrell. Burrell back down to Bridgeway. Bridgeway looking here on the near side, but it's a turnover to Nebraska.
Yeah, you're really seeing Michigan keep with that.
A really pretty through ball from the freshman Burrell. Just
again picked up by
the
Sammy
goalie.
Hawk.
The goalie Hawk is really just active in her box. Is mobile in her box.
Yes, this is a very mobile Nebraska team.
Yeah. I think especially with the departure of Jordan Zaid just a couple minutes ago, she was one of them primary distributors. Now we see a really good opportunity for the Wolverines. Burrell, the freshman, passing it in. And it just hits
right
the top of the
post.
Crossbar and bounces out, and that's going to be a goal kick for Nebraska. What a really good opportunity, Ian.
Yeah, that
kind of
really
unexpected, too. That kind of came out of nothing, but some really good hard work and a really clever cerebral play by Burrell, looking for that opening, whether it was a pass or a shot.
I think Michigan. We've seen them push in the entire game, but that's really starting to pay off. They're starting
Bridgeway
to get through.
To Kalita. Kalita back to Bridgeway. Bridgeway now. Yeah, we're seeing some energy now from this Michigan team. Tolbert to Bridenstine. Bridenstine to Kalita. Kalita now crosses that midline with a nice
Beautiful through pass right
through
there.
pass. That's aerial. Now Wolverines with the shot in the box. A really nice shot from Casey Lawrence, the junior forward.
It was a nice shot. Maybe not.
Needed a bit more puff on it, but really good shot.
Maybe not the greatest decision. She had two other teammates in the box there she could have passed to, but it was a split-second decision. It was a very good shot.
Burrell putting pressure on the Nebraska midfielder, and that ball goes out. That's going to be a Nebraska throw-in. And that will be thrown in by and collected by Eleanor Dale. Dale now to Weber, but that might have been elbow touching the ball, something. So that's a free kick now for Nebraska. About 36 minutes left here in this second half of this soccer game. If you're just tuning in, my name is David Kraemer. I'm joined by Ian Moore. This is the University of Michigan against the Nebraska Cornhuskers women's soccer. The score is 1-0. The visitors, Nebraska, leading the Wolverines at home in Ann Arbor. And it's been a really nice afternoon. The clouds heavy, looking to rain, but I've checked the forecast at halftime. Don't see anything coming up. Just some darker skies, but so far nothing but a mere drizzle a couple hours earlier this morning. And here we have the Wolverines holding on to the ball, getting it upfield. Burrell, the freshman. Unfortunately, a turnover to Nebraska picked up by Haley Peterson for Nebraska, the midi. And she's going to put that up in the air. And that is going to be headed to Florence Belzile, or who heads it, actually, I should say. And the netminder for Michigan, McElroy, distributes it to Bridgeway. Bridgeway to Kalita. Kalita facing some serious pressure in the midfield by Eleanor Dale. Dale, who passes it to Weber. Weber now with two defenders on her, still holding on. Really, really great control of the ball. She is, holy cow. Some tenacity from Eleanor Dale.
Even the
excuse
Michigan-
me, from Sarah Weber.
Even the Michigan fans are applauding that one.
Yeah,
That was
and some really good defensive play by the Wolverines as well. Callie Burrell, really smart
Yeah.
to team up with her teammate Avery Kalita. Those two make a really good duo.
Yeah, I think you're going to see that fast pace that Michigan is playing with. I think you're going to see that more and more as we enter the final third of the game. Especially as the Wolverines face getting...
That's a ball in by Sarah Blake, but unfortunately it's picked up by Nebraska. Florence Belize, now Robbie, and that's a really good clearance by the midfielder, Casey Lawrence. And we're going to get a throw in here on the near side, left side. Wolverines now in their defensive end as these two teams have switched, and that's thrown in to Kalita. Kalita, who passes it to Tamia Tolbert, but Rob for Nebraska passes it. Now Hackinson, nice cheeky play. Hackinson to Blake.
Bit of a through
Hackinson able to hold on to it. Oh, and a
It's a through pass, maybe at
fortunate turnover, Sammy Woods.
had a bit too much power on it.
Yeah.
Nebraska
Kalita
was
now
able to recover.
pressuring Belzile. Belzile to Peterson. Haven't seen many substitutions for Nebraska other than that Jordan Zaid substitution right at the beginning of the half
Right.
after that unfortunate injury. Nebraska has had a lot of success with these players so far in in the first half and continuing through this now second half.
Yeah, I think once we reach that like 20-minute mark left in the game in the 70th minute, they might start substituting. Obviously, they've been playing a very physical, fast-paced, high-intensity game.
Well said. Tolbert to Bridgeway. Bridgeway looking to Blake on the near side, but she is just hounded by Sarah Weber, who had that really outstanding offensive play, that solo play just at the edge of the box mere minutes ago. That's a throw-in received by Kalita, but Belzile, the forward for Nebraska, now League to Hackinson. Hackinson with a nice through ball
pass.
to Casey Lawrence. Casey Lawrence kicks it in, but it's knocked away by that substitution. Marissa Popola.
Again, I like the Wolverines' intensity and their pace, but
Hackinson.
that does result in them being in attacking situations.
The outside of the box. League passes it in. 5 defenders inside the box for Nebraska. Only 2 Wolverines in the inside of the box. Now, senior Hannah Blake passing it in. Oh, and a really great scoring opportunity. The Wolverines really putting it on now. Kalita fighting against Eleanor Dale for Nebraska. Bridgeway, though, able to come in, get that pass. Kalita here on the near side, passing it up. Haven't seen too much action on that far side, but the freshman really playing well this afternoon. Tolbert, who had some kind of struggles in the beginning of the game, has really managed to find her tempo in this second half, and she's really playing well. Now Blake, the senior. Blake to Lawrence, and that's going to be an offsides. Unfortunate. There's definitely some frustration on that second Wolverines offsides that we've seen this game on what could have been, some really good offensive opportunity. And again, we see that netminder for Nebraska playing well. Kalita to Burrell. And Kalita as well to Bridgeway. Bridgeway to Blake. Blake to Woods. Woods to Bridenstine with a nice delivery into, but caught by the goalie, Hawk.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really difficult to get those through passes into the box against Sarah Hawk today.
Hawk, Burrell caught it. But some really good play
Yeah.
this second half by Michigan. I think they've really improved. What do you think so far?
I think they've definitely improved, as you said. They've got about 30 minutes left. We're at 29:30, so they need to start executing, and I think they're well on their way to doing that. They've had a lot of good opportunities, but for one reason or another, a lot of them
Collected by the goalie for Michigan,
Ooh.
and that's knocked out.
As a spectator gets hit in the head with the ball.
Oof.
She appears to be okay.
And we see some substitutions now for Nebraska. Rabe coming off.
And for Michigan.
And for Michigan as well. Schwartz coming in for Rabe. And number 2 as well coming out, Peterson. And that's a Michigan throw-in. And that is booted out beyond the stadium by Nikola Hawk, the junior defender from Germany. And we see that ball collected by the Nebraska defenders. And there's going to be a stoppage of play and a stoppage of the clock. And that's going to be a conversation with the referee and what looks to be a free kick. So if you're just joining us this afternoon, folks, this is WCBN FM Sports Radio. I'm David Kraemer, joined by Ian Moore for this rendition of the University of Michigan women's soccer team versus the University of Nebraska women's soccer team. The visitors, Nebraska, are up 1-0 with about 28 minutes remaining in this soccer game. Now we have the goalie, Catherine McElroy. McElroy to Ridgway. Ridgway turns it over to Nebraska, who makes a really great shot.
Just punched over the net.
Yeah. And we're going to get another corner kick, huh?
Yes.
And that will be taken by none other than Lauren Anglem, the freshman from La Vista, Nebraska. And that was a really great kick, but an even better defensive stop. Ridgway coming out,
Again,
and that's
goes
a
for
shot.
That out-of-box goal.
And that's a shot by Sadie Waite, the Canadian, with freshman on Nebraska. Good international presence there. And a big boot from the goalie, McElroy. League, though, she has been exceptional on defense, the freshman. It's really nice, even on senior night, to see that Michigan women's soccer has a really great future in its team. And now that's a really good pickup by the Wolverines. Woods now, Sammy Woods, a junior, distributing it to her partner.
Yes, the Wolverines are really starting to get a sustained attack going
Casey
here.
Lawrence. Lawrence all across the field to Sarah Burdenstein. Burdenstein with a really great opportunity. Now a shot from in the box. Oh my gosh, and a diving save.
Wow.
Collisions in the box. The referee has come to separate everybody.
I really thought they had him passed.
A really great diving save by the junior goalie for Nebraska, Sammy Hawk. Everyone is cheering. 26 minutes left to go in this game. Nebraska, 12 shots and 5 kicks. Michigan now, 6 shots and 1 corner kick in this half. In the game. Sorry. League now. League with the pass to the senior. Danielle Wolf, who's in. And looks like we're going to see a substitution. Number 22, Claire Dawson, the senior, is coming in to replace number 6, the junior, Casey Lawrence. who has had a really great game and has been kind of the driver of this offense right now. Hackinson and League now. League in a foot race with the Nebraska forward, Abby Schwartz from Nebraska, Bennington, Nebraska. And we're going to see this ball go out of bounds, and that's going to be picked up by none other than number 17, Marissa Popula, who throws it in for Nebraska. Picked up by just beyond the midline. League now. And a one-on-one opportunity that is almost a conversion and a really lucky shot that goes just wide. The Wolverines
sails really right past the far post.
What an excellent opportunity, goal-scoring opportunity, as now we're going to see a substitution. Reagan Robbie coming back in. Substitution for number 22 on Nebraska, and that's held on to by Timea Tolbert, who dishes it up. On the far side, League now covering the Canadian Sadie Waite. Abby Schwartz, sorry. Both forwards.
That was a really good effort there to avoid the corner kick.
I think so too, Ian. Now we have about 23-ish minutes remaining in this half. Where does Michigan stand? How can they get back in this game? How can they equalize at least?
I think Michigan, as they get possession,
And a shot from outside the box goes just wide.
Yeah, I think they're having a little bit of the problems that they had in the beginning of the game with keeping possession. They've been able to get opportunities. They've had a little trouble executing. That's to one degree mistakes, and to another degree just Sammy Hawk being very proactive in the box, as we've talked about. But I think that these last 23 minutes are going to mean a lot for the Wolverines. You don't want to. Yeah. You don't want to go you don't want to open your Big Ten season with one point in the table out of 3 games.
Stumbling in a shot from outside the box. Nebraska looking to get that second goal of the game. Inside the box now. 1-on-1. Stumbling over. Michigan holding on to the ball. Raby, though, really looking to make that presence.
Huskers being very, very aggressive. They're really seeking to seal to get that clinching
Hackinson, Tolbert now clearing the air, getting that ball back to the goalie McElroy. McElroy for Michigan almost boots it out, and it's going to be a turnover as Sammy Woods isn't able to hold it in. And that's going to be a throw-in for Nebraska, but that's going to be collected by Michigan. And Sarah Burdenstein to Tolbert. Tolbert now to her defensive partner, League. Anaya League. Hackinson, the grad student, to the other grad student, Margot Ridgway. Ridgway now, the defender, calling her teammates back. And this is now a really unfortunate whistle as Danielle Wolf, the senior, has a collision. The crowd is not happy with Lauren Anglem. The referees, as you can hear, receiving plenty of negative press from this Michigan team.
This is really the first that the fans have engaged with the game in this degree.
Yeah, not a popular call.
Yeah, they're
you
not
don't
happy.
sign up to be the referee in any game because you want to be popular with the fans. And that's a pass that goes from one side of the field to the other, and it results in a turnover, ending in a Michigan possession. Hackinson to Tolbert. Tolbert to League. League now under some serious pressure from Nebraska, and that is going to result in an ugly corner kick.
That is
You don't like to see that.
That is a very unfortunate turn for the Wolverines there, going from possession to missing the pass and
You're
conceding.
going to see a substitution now. Eleanor Dale coming in for Sarah Weber, who had some really great opportunities earlier in this game, especially in this half. And now this free kick is going to be taken by Laura Anglin. But her teammate right there next to her, Florence Belzile, and some serious pressure from the Wolverines, Sammy Woods. And a really good collection. And that's going to be a Wolverines ball. Woods with the inbound. The referees making another call for some substitutions. Coming in for Michigan, Taylor Brennan, the freshman defenseman, and Hannah Blake, again the senior who was playing in that first half. Coming out for Michigan, Claire Dawson and Meredith Hackinson, who've had a really good second half. Again, that is Sarah Blake coming in alongside her teammate. Tolbert now. Nebraska booting that in on the other half, and a volley. Second volley that's also missed. Kalita
That was a really
Woods.
prime
Oh my
opportunity.
gosh. Almost a really great reception. Sammy Woods, and that is a foul you don't want to take. The referee, again, a bit surprised not to see a card from that. But,
Never
I take
mind.
it back.
Never mind.
And it will be a yellow card. Sammy Woods with the yellow card. 18:41 remaining in this second half. Well, and that's after a collision and a little bit of play on the ground away from the ball.
Yes.
So
Yeah, it was a dive. It was
No,
a
it
sliding
happens.
tackle. It was very clearly a yellow card.
Anglin with Hawk and other Hawk. Cousins. One from Texas, one from Germany. But, one thing I've noticed this game, Danielle Wolf's leadership as a senior
Yes.
has been exceptional. You hear the ball collected by McElroy. Again, you can see the diverging styles between Stephanie Sparkowski and McElroy in terms of, not only just their patience, but their preference for distributing the ball. This is a throw-in now by League. 18 minutes and 10 remaining in this second half of the game. Wolverines are down a goal, looking to equalize here in Ann Arbor at home on senior night during Parents Weekend, joined by Ian Moore. The coverage exclusively from WCBN FM here, live streaming on YouTube.
Yes.
Tolbert with the ball, looking to pass to League, who's been outstanding for Michigan aside from that kind of ugly turnover earlier.
Very
now,
nice footwork there.
Yeah, really good footwork. Sarah Blake
Beautiful
now, the
through
senior,
pass.
with the through pass. The yellow card, receiver, Sammy Woods. Woods passes it to Farkas. Farkas now, it gets blocked, but Tolbert. Wolverines control the ball in this offensive half, in their offensive zone. But that is knocked away, and that will be a throw-in for Michigan. And Sammy Woods now fighting, even with that yellow card. Not too much time left, and of course Michigan wouldn't want to go down a player, but they are really looking for that next goal. Bridgeway to Blake. Blake, that through ball
Beautiful
chipped
through
into
pass.
the air. And ref blows a whistle. That was an offsides. The flag lifted up, even with the beautiful through ball. Cower, 16:40 left in this half. Michigan needs that equalizer.
Wolverines are really about to have their back against the wall here. They are.
There is a lot of time left, but
Yeah.
the clock does not stop. League again holding on to it after that pass from Wolf. Bridgeway to Kalita. Kalita to League. League needs to get that ball into the offensive zone. Bridgeway to Kalita. Really good passing play. Kalita gets knocked over, and that's going to be a free kick for the Wolverines just past the midpoint, or the center line. That'll be taken by Lily Farkas. Farkas to Blake, 11-10. Ridgeway, or not Ridgeway, almost falling down.
Yeah, arguably a foul, but advantage
Kalita.
given by the referee.
League pressured by Rabe. And that's knocked out. Bridenstine was looking for that ball. League now here with the ball, 15 to go. About a little bit more than 15 to go. Bridgeway in her defensive half to Tolbert. Tolbert to Brennan. Brennan back to Tolbert. Wolverine side of the field. Bridgeway about to cross that center line.
Oh.
And that is a free kick. A Wolverine going down.
Right outside of the
referee is
box.
going to make sure that she's okay. Was that Sammy Woods? I am going to bet that it was. Yep, Sammy Woods, who took that yellow card, has been putting her body on the line in this second half. This is a crucial moment.
Yes.
Nebraska building a really close wall.
This is a prime opportunity for the Wolverines
And
to
who
score.
is taking this kick? Can you get a vantage point from here? I think that is Blake. I think that's Hannah Blake. Oh, I can't make out the jersey number all the way from this side of the field, but I know that she does have a talent for it. We'll say Blake, and if I am to be corrected, then I am. The free kick.
Free kick.
And that is, wow, does that hit the post? Or maybe knocked away by Cower. Yes, knocked away by Cower. And that was Blake. And that was a really great kick, just going onto the near side, or the far side. And we have a corner kick, 13:45 left. The kick by Michigan. Even numbers in the box for both teams.
Oh.
Wow, what a
Beautiful slide
incredible
tackle by
defensive
Nebraska.
play by Marissa Popula, who's doing her best. She's not been that active in this second half, but now she's just turning it on. Wow. That was Conte.
Yes,
That was defensive play. Exceptional defensive play by Marissa Popula. 13 left to go in the game. Kalita with the turnover to Belzile. Belzile, though, turning it back over, picked up by Farkas, crossing the center line. Farkas now on the far side with a nice through ball all the way up to Brennan, the freshman. And that's kicked out and could be a throw-in. Yep.
Yeah.
Brennan, far side in the corner. That's thrown into Sammy Woods, the junior, with the yellow card, who crosses it in to the center line. And that's kicked by Farkas. Farkas now trailing Rob, the Nebraska forward. League knocking it out, 12:25 to go. And we're going to see some substitutions for Nebraska. 2 players coming out, 2 coming in. Replacing Belzile is number 42, Sarah Weber. And coming back on the field is number 2 on Nebraska. Haley Peterson. Excuse me. League with the throw-in for the Wolverines. Picked up by the senior Danielle Wolf. Wolf with the turnover to Sadie Waite. Waite to Peterson. Nebraska now has it at the midline. Marissa Popula with the pass to Rabe. Kalita, though, on her 6. League, Bridgeway. Bridgeway, ugly turnover. Ball is controlled. Nebraska with the shot and a header.
Oh.
And that goes wide of the net.
Yeah,
11
Huskers
minutes left.
outnumbered there, but certainly making up for their lack of players.
Well, 11. Yes, now 11 minutes left. Excuse me. The throw-in for Michigan, who have not much time for an equalizer. Sarah Weber now, 42 for Nebraska, had a really good solo play, is continuing that solo play. Now Nebraska with that cross from the far side, picked up and snagged out of the air by McElroy, the netminder, who dishes it out with a strong throw to Sarah Bridenstine. Bridenstine to Sammy Woods with the yellow card, pulling at the jersey a little bit, and pushes over number 23 for Nebraska.
Yeah.
And
See, some frustration among the Michigan fans. Perhaps it was a push.
and
Perhaps
that's going to be a
was
free kick on the near side, about 15 yards from, what would you say, about 15 yards from the top of the near box? Sammy Woods.
Yeah, roughly even with the side of the box.
Yeah.
Give or take a few yards.
10 minutes left here. The kick from Lauren Anglem, and that goes all the way out just to the far corner, picked up by a Wolverine. Brennan. Past now the 10-minute mark.
Huskers really, again, not cutting back on any of the aggression.
And that's picked up by Tolbert. Even with not much time left, the Wolverines, they do have another chance. Bridenstine and a really, really good kick. Kalita tries to get it. Weber, though, the midfielder for Nebraska.
Bridenstine.
Popula, big pass from the center line all the way into the top of the Wolverines box, but Michigan picks it up. And now the Wolverines, Blake, the senior, with the pass to the other senior. And that will be...
Again, some jostling for the ball. Perhaps Nebraska acted into it, but a foul either way, and it will be a goal kick.
Yeah, goal kick. 8:40, just about 8:40 left in this soccer game here in Ann Arbor. As we look, there may be a sub 10-minute substitution for Michigan if you keep an eye on that near side of the field. A big boot kick from Cower, the goalie for Nebraska, as Tolbert is there to collect it for Michigan. And Blake takes that pass. Weber knocking it out of the air, but Bridenstine, Sadie Waite.
Michigan swarming on the ball.
Anglem for Nebraska, but League is there to... good move. And that'll be a Michigan ball. Sammy Woods with the pass. A little disagreement with the referee, but it's no matter. Under 8 minutes left in this game, as we see Tolbert now. Tolbert to Blake. Blake now. And there's a little bit of dragging. Weber for Nebraska, really calm defensive presence. And she's been all over the place this game. And she passes it to Lane, and that ball goes out.
Appears to be out on Michigan.
The Michigan players, so that'll be a Nebraska throw-in. Again, keeping an eye on this midline. There may be some last-minute substitutions here. This game is coming down. Not a ton of time left. Kalita knocks it out. 7 minutes remaining in this soccer game. Ian, can Michigan come back? They need some luck.
I've been saying all game that I think that they can. That they've shown the drive to get it. And they've had opportunities. Obviously now they're getting a lot more aggressive. They're swarming on the ball, and they kick it out of bounds. But I think they just need to put the pieces together. It's getting harder and harder, of course, as we get closer to the finish. It appears to be raining a little bit now. I'm not sure how that's going to affect things.
Yeah, it's 6.5 minutes remaining in this game. Tolbert really under pressure, one-on-one situation against a Nebraska forward. Kalita, Tolbert helping each other out. League needs to push it forward. The lateral pass And a good pass and a almost
on the
better
Huskers.
reception by Sammy Woods.
I think especially
And
this
there's going to be a substitution here.
this very aggressive front that Nebraska's putting up is liable to be taken advantage
Lawrence
of on the
coming
counterattack.
in for Bridenstine. Casey Lawrence coming in for Bridenstine. 5 minutes, 40 seconds left in this game. Wolverines need an equalizer. The score is 1-0 Nebraska. Cornhuskers leading Michigan as the visiting team here in Ann Arbor. Casey Lawrence to League. Anaya League has been arguably one of Michigan's best players today. Ridgeway to Tolbert, the sophomore, who had a rocky start but really's been calm and poised on the defensive end. Oh, a nice kind of crossing pass into the box for Michigan. Oh, and a really good opportunity for Farkas. 5 minutes on the clock. Ridgeway, Michigan is really putting on the pressure. All but one defender and the goalie in the offensive half of the field. Now, Hawk, the goalie for Nebraska, 4:40 remaining. She will take her time. No extra time here in college soccer.
Right, as we've discovered.
That big boot from Hawk, who's been great this game. And that's going to be a Nebraska throw-in as... Oh, yes, a Nebraska throw-in as we approach the 4-minute mark. And not a throw-in. Seems to be a bit of confusion. That'll be a free kick. They are taking their time, though. And if you are winning this game with not much time left, you by only a goal, you don't want to put any more pressure on and make any mistakes. This
Right.
is called park the bus,
Yes.
as they say. 3:40 left. Kalita for the Wolverines in her defensive end to League. League will pass it forward to Blake.
She's got options on the right side.
Blake looking to Casey Lawrence, but League is there right at the center line. League to Kalita. Kalita to Farkas. Farkas now on the far side looking. She's going to go through the middle, but it is busy. To League now. League passes it to Blake. Blake now on the near side. Crosses it in. Oh, but an unlucky deflection off of Weber, which I would have said would be a corner kick. I'm not sure what that call is, but there's 3 minutes left in this soccer game, and that will be a goal kick.
Yes.
This goal kick from Hawk, the Nebraska goalie, who has been exceptional this afternoon, despite Michigan's best efforts. Weber chipping it into the air to League. Collected by Casey Lawrence. Casey Lawrence to Farkas. Farkas in the midfield. Nice move to get around the defender, but it's
Through pass.
collected. 2:30 left as Tolbert for Michigan brings it up into the offensive end.
Nebraska seems more than happy right now to boot the
Yeah.
ball and
Brennan.
force the Wolverines to set back
Danielle Wolf, the senior, at the edge of the box, passes it to Sammy Woods, who's going to fall down. Brennan again. Boots it in. Headed out by Rabe. 2 minutes remaining in this game. Wolverines need to get an equalizer. League now. Passes it back. Ridgeway. Boots it in. Gets it in the air just to the edge of the box. And who is that but Michigan's senior leader? Oh, wow. And Michigan now with the goal at the edge of the box. Sammy Woods. 1:30 remaining. That could have been the Wolverines' best opportunity. Farkas now at the edge of the
Really?
box. And the referee is going to make a call that may be the deciding factor for this game. Maybe it was giving the advantage earlier after we saw some just chaos in the box. 1:15 about here left in this game. The clock is continuing to go down. Nebraska boots it. Tolbert,
Michigan has about
1 minute. 1 minute remaining.
time for about one more attack. They've got
They sure do.
to get moving. Options on the
League.
right side.
Farkas. And that's intercepted by Peterson. Peterson, the only Nebraska player. The ref giving advantage, picked up by Brennan. Brennan to Farkas on the far side. 40 seconds left remaining. Farkas boots it in to the passes it in. Rabe kicks it into the air, and that's out of bounds. Michigan throwing one more chance. Tolbert, there is no extra time. 24 seconds. Now we're at 20 seconds. League, one more opportunity. Lawrence now, or Blake, excuse me. That's booted again into the air. 10 seconds left. And this is going to end up...
Unable to find a ball. And that'll do it.
And that is an unfortunate way to end that game, as the Wolverines weren't able to find a ball for that last throw-in with about 12 seconds left.
Yeah.
Well,
This certainly has not been the Big Ten conference play start that the Wolverines had envisioned, playing 3 matches and taking out of that only 1 point on the draw with Ohio State in the table.
certainly. No, but there certainly were some highlights for this game for the Wolverines, especially on the defensive end, of which they played so much time.
Yeah,
And we
really-
saw...
Yeah, that's a really good point. Really, with the exception of 7 minutes in the beginning of the game, the Wolverines did play a very stout defense. Both goalies did very well, but
Yeah. No. I completely agree. Anaya League, for me, was probably Michigan's best player this game. Other candidates would be the senior forward Danielle Wolf, who was exceptional, and even seeing Sammy Woods, the junior forward, really put her body on the line. Maybe not the outcome the Wolverines were expecting, but certainly some really great play nonetheless. And unfortunate loss, but impressive from both sides. And of course, we can't forget about how Nebraska really had an exceptional game as well.
yeah, I really think, especially even though she was only in for about a half before she unfortunately had to depart, Jordan Zaid on defense really set the tone for this game, as well
I
as
completely agree.
Sam Hawk in goal made it very, very difficult for the Wolverines to get the ball into the box.
Yeah, I would also say Sarah Weber had some really outstanding offensive play, and that goal that she scored, her 5th of the season, 7 minutes, 21 seconds into the game, was ended up being the lone goal.
Right.
That kind of defining moment in that first half. So as we leave you here in Ann Arbor at the end of this Michigan women's soccer game, a loss at home against Nebraska. The final score 1-0. The final shots for Nebraska 17, for Michigan 8. Corner kicks 6 for Nebraska, 2 for Michigan. Again, that final score 1-0 for the visitors, the Nebraska Cornhuskers, defeating the Michigan Wolverines women's soccer team here in Ann Arbor over Parents' Weekend, September 25th, 2022. For WCBN Sports, I'm David Kraemer. I'm joined by Ian Moore.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go Blue, and thank you for listening. All right. Bye-bye.
All right.